What's up, guys? Welcome back to the second ever episode 49 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Woo!
As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one half of the coolest dudes in video games.
Hi.
Greg Miller.
Sup?
Colin Moriarty is off in the great
Gallivanting.
beyond, doing some stuff
In the great beyond.
And Nick's here.
What do I have to do to be one half, like the other half, the other half? Of
Oh,
the
no,
coolest dudes in
it's
gaming?
you want to know? It's real
Yeah,
simple. Hey,
yeah.
Nick, what have you been playing lately?
Nothing.
If you can answer that fucking question with a game.
Fair
I
enough.
just like saying Nick's here.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Nick's
it,
here.
it just deflates me and puts me in my place.
It's one of
my
those
little
where
place.
the dice were rolled that we were going to have to do an episode here.
Yeah.
Because you screwed up my perfect schedule.
Things happened.
And you screwed it up.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Your perfect schedule.
Exactly.
I don't know if it
Where
was.
everything was dated correctly.
Don't think so.
I think it was.
No, not sure. So here's what happened. We work on a weird ass calendar where these episodes go live, early on Patreon. You can go over there on the Kind of Funny Games.
Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames.
And you can get these episodes early, or you can get them later for free on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. But the problem there is then when we talk about what date does this episode come out, what Friday are we talking about? The early Friday or the later Friday?
Yeah.
Now, that's easier to handle when you're doing one at a time.
Right.
But we're trying to gear up for the holidays.
Right.
So we're doing a couple episodes at a time out of order. We got all types of confused. So I celebrated
He got all
episode
types.
50.
You got all types of confused.
Hey, Game Over Greggy's show wasn't perfect either, my friend. That's why we have to fucking record.
You did
I swear
something.
to God.
You did something. I put everything on the
I did
calendar and it made
something.
sense. And then you went in there and mucked
Yeah,
it
it's
up.
because Colin was like, I'm going on vacation.
And I
then-
said, fuck them. We don't need them for the shows.
But then we had to do stuff on Sunday, and that's where things went wrong, Greg.
Okay.
That Sunday. This Sunday. Last Sunday.
Time is a flat circle. It means nothing to us.
So,
just for reference, what day are we supposed to be saying today is?
No, we're long gone on that point.
today,
That
gone?
doesn't matter.
today is Star Wars Day. We
Yeah, it
still
is Star
haven't
Wars
seen
Day.
it yet, but we're going to see it
Kevin saw it.
soon. This is actually timely. This is a normal episode.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah. Like this episode's coming out
Well,
when it
what's
appropriately
fascinating about this is God smiles upon us every so often.
He gives
and
us
so yeah, it
stars.
was one of those, Nick's gonna be on this episode with us. And like, okay, we'll figure it out. And then all the topics played out in a way that Nick actually has something to say about them. And I was very
I'm very, very excited about that. But we didn't even explain what we did wrong, which was
Tim screwed up the calendar.
we recorded episodes 50 and 51 already, and I made a big deal about it being episode 50. And then I teased what we're doing in episode 52.
in each episode, we are like, don't forget, in
Yeah.
1 week, in 2 weeks, this is
Yeah.
happening.
The first time I ever specifically call out like what's happening
We're
next
such
week.
idiots.
And yeah, so then we're fucked. So now this is the second ever episode 49.
Which I like.
Yeah, Deuce-K. We might as well call it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is Ryan Clemence's
it's like,
favorite episode.
I want to call it like a Final Fantasy name. So it'll just be another
Kinda Funny
episode,
Games.
Deuce-K. Kind of Funny Gamescast,
Part
episode
two.
49
49 2.
dash. So it'll be 49 dash Roman numeral 2.
Nice.
Deuce-K, another episode.
Ducidia Dukakam.
Prologus. Ducidia Dukakam. I love it. God damn.
I love this show.
I do too. All right. If you guys don't know, we talk about video games every week. It's a good old time for everybody involved. If you like the show, I would really appreciate it if you went over to iTunes or the podcast service of your choice, left a little review, said some nice things. There's like 5-star system. If you could throw 5 stars at us, I'd appreciate that.
You guys are big
I'll
in
settle
Canada.
for 4.
I hear. Very big
We
in
are.
Canada.
We're the best in
Biggest
Canada.
in Canada.
Best and brightest in Canada.
It is.
Somebody screenshot that because I can't see it.
Oh, I got an email.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, when I go to iTunes, I'm in America.
Got
So when I go to the best of 2015, I don't see us.
Oh,
But
really?
if you go to Canada, you'd see us. I assume that's how it works.
Maybe. I
Huge
don't know.
thanks to Canada for holding it
Yeah.
down.
Big ups, Canada.
When there's
What
only
up?
4 people there and 3 of them vote for us. It's
And they're
great.
so cold. They're just so
us.
goddamn cold.
They're just so cold.
It's so
All right.
cold here.
The first topic of the day is Super Smash Brothers. My favorite topic to talk about.
But you have
on this
new
show.
stuff to talk about finally.
There is new stuff to talk about. Final stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
The final Smash Nintendo Direct.
I get it. I get what you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to add a space there.
So here's what I want. I'll start. I'm going to start right off the top.
go for it.
Tim,
Mhm.
how does that make you feel to say that? It's the final thing. They're very clear. This is it. This is all. This is it. This is the end of Smash Brothers on the Wii U.
It's sad, because I didn't want to see an end. I thought the end would have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
So the fact that we got this much, I'm very, very happy for that. I'm very thankful for that. I wish that it kept going. Like, I love that at E3 last year, they just randomly dropped Roy and Ryu.
Yeah.
And it's like, what would they have done next year? Like, could they just have trickled this out forever? Now, I have hopes that they're going to port this game over to the NX.
X gonna give it to you.
And I believe in that. I do think that
I'm sorry. Is this correct? Is this how you do
You
it?
never
is.
watched the product.
it is.
How you do it?
Uh-huh.
Am I doing it right? Is this
Well,
X-wing?
X, give it to
This
you.
is the X-wing.
Uh-huh.
That's the NX.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now give
What's this?
me the rock. Oh, that's the Raven. That's Raven.
That's the Raven.
That's DX.
Okay, what's this? Just me.
Macarena.
Yeah, that's
Part of the
that's,
Macarena.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Called
There's
the
also,
Temple Grandin.
A modification of eagle pose in yoga.
You can't just name out poses.
Wait, what's eagle pose? Show me eagle pose.
I can't do it. It's when you do that
That doesn't look like an eagle at all.
and you wrap your it's weird.
You wrap your.
You wrap your feet
weird.
around in the opposite direction like this. You're basically like wrapped up.
You
but I
make
can't
your
do it
wee
'cause
wee look like a pig's tail.
My fucking arms are too big.
You got the big arms. You can't do no eagle pose.
How dry do my hands sound right now?
They sound really trying to hate it.
Jesus Christ.
Good lord. Anyways, I do think they're gonna bring it to NX because they invested too much
Do
in
you
Smash
thi-
Bros.
do you think-
as a platform.
So that's my thing for it, right? Is like, we'll get to what happened here, but in them saying this is the final and they're capping it off, I think there's still life in it in the way that at E3 this year, what would they have said about Smash? Well, I think they're going to say what they're going to say, where it's like NX is coming, it's going to be out this fall. Smash Brothers is a launch title, it's a port, it has all the DLC, and they'll introduce a new character that'll be Mr. NX.
I mean, I hope that happens. I'm a little bit worried that him saying this is it on this game is like, this is it. Maybe we do get the Game of the Year definitive edition. Or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
NX,
NX
edition.
edition.
Yeah. When the NX comes, and it is just all the DLC and all the stuff in one package, which is, at this point is a pretty hefty package. Yeah. It's like, if you buy everything, like, you have to spend like $100 on this game, and like I did, it's totally fucking worth it.
Of course,
but
yeah.
like with each character being like $5 to $6, and you get them also on the 3DS and all that. It's like there's a lot going on in terms of the Mii costumes or the stages. Like at the end of this direct, they had this whole stat sheet of like, we're now at 58 characters, and like,
yeah, but like 80 of them are Fire Emblem characters.
yeah,
So
there's no problem with that.
that's fine.
And like
There isn't there?
100 stages or whatever, and this many items and this many things, and it's like the numbers are like ridiculous. And he even says, he's like, this like is the record for action games and for whatever. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And like, that excites me, and I'd love to see a definitive edition type thing. But yeah, I just think that they put a little too much work into this game to just let it die in this modern era of video games where there's patches and things never go away in the digital era.
In
you
the
know?
digital era.
So your
digital
theory is they
future.
just up-res it and release it like
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even
Q1
know how
of
much they'd
2017
up-res it.
for-
Like, I don't think it's gonna be an up-res situation. Like, it's
they
already
just direct port over
yeah.
the NX. I don't
Yeah.
see why they wouldn't do that. But have they ever done that before though? Because they didn't release.
I mean, the big
Brawl or
thing is, what if
Melee,
it's
right?
just backwards compatible?
Well, that's the
Oh,
other
that's
thing.
true.
That's
No,
the easiest way around.
It's very, but I do think there will be like a
NX edition.
NX edition, whatever. And also, it's the bigger question is the GameCube controllers, how they're gonna attach that. But I think they solved that by making this adapter be USB. So as long as the NX has USB, we're fine.
Wish it will. Guaranteed. Lock of the week. NXX going to give you USB ports.
Good.
USB,
Thank you.
USB 2.0.
But that doesn't matter.
Just letting you know.
We don't need no.
I'm just letting you know.
Hey, you got the facts.
I'm
I
building
Why
appreciate
wouldn't
that.
it be 3.0? Did they even
'Cause
make
it's
USB
Nintendo.
2.0 anymore?
Nintendo's not going to be
listen,
cutting edge.
PS4 doesn't have it either.
And it was in USB 3.0 was a glint in the eye of Mr. USB when the PS4 was made. All right.
Not true.
Not true.
You don't know.
Not true.
Not true.
Very true.
No.
When it
You,
was-
I believe.
okay,
He doesn't
okay.
know what he's
When it
talking
was
about.
maybe when it was conceived. I'll give you that though, because they started designing those platforms.
Yeah, I'm not talking about when it
4 years
rolled-
before
yeah,
they
when
come
it
out.
rolled
Yeah,
off
I
the-
can get that.
The
Plus, it was probably-
Foxconn assembly line.
Yeah, that's true. But by now though, it was like it would probably be more expensive to include a 2.0 than a 3.0. Like, we got to go back and find a bunch of 2.0.
I'm just saying that's another prediction for you right there.
No,
USBs,
I rolled.
yes. USB 2.0s, yes.
What about like FireWire? Maybe it's just a FireWire.
Yeah,
port.
maybe it is a FireWire. Yeah.
Those
This isn't a
thick-ass square ones.
PSP. They're
It
not
runs-
trying to
it
get
runs
too
mini
fucking
discs.
crazy. Yeah. Good lord. But yeah, so I do have some hopes for all of that.
All right, sorry to get you so off track. Back to
Yeah,
what
no,
happened.
I mean, that's not off track. I mean, he ended the whole thing with like a thank you to
And
the
it was
fans
sad. It was
for
bittersweet.
whatever. And it's like I was on Gamescast. I don't know where it was. At some point, I predicted like what was going to happen, and I was like, I think that we're going to hear from him on like what his status is. And you guys were kind of like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like that's what I was talking about.
Gotcha.
Was that? And he's Sakurai. We're talking about the director of Super Smash Bros. He's put so much into this franchise over the years, and he cares so damn much.
Well, how long has he been on this franchise?
Forever.
Did
I mean,
yeah.
it's his.
That's ridiculous.
The whole thing.
That's crazy.
And he's made a couple games like here and there, Kirby's Air Ride and Kid Icarus, the Uprising
Mhm.
on the 3DS. But I mean, Smash Bros is just kind of like it's his baby.
Yeah.
And every character, like, he's had involvement in, and he wanted to make sure that everything was right and that it stayed true to the series and the character, and like he wanted to make sure that the alternate costumes were the right colors and the right shades, and like that people's hair moved the right way. All the dumb little things that make Super Smash Bros. What it is and why it's so special. And even when there's characters like Cloud or Ryu or whatever, it's like he made sure that they added that their moves all made sense, and they weren't just like, well, he has a sword, so he can swing it this way. It's like, oh no, it needs to be this specific move from this specific game and all that stuff. And that's why we saw so many Fire Emblem characters, is because he is such a big Fire Emblem fan and Fire Emblem supporter, and he's boys with the Fire Emblem dudes. And this, as far as I'm concerned, Sakurai made Fire Emblem in the West. Like, if it wasn't for
groundwork was laid, right?
Marth and Roy being in Melee, like, I wouldn't know who they are, and so many people wouldn't know.
I had no idea until yesterday that Marth and Roy were from Fire Emblem. No idea.
So
you were literally like, "That's where they're from." I'm like, "Huh, cool." Largely because I don't play with them because they're punks.
They're not.
They're punks.
I hate you so goddamn much.
Punks. They're
If it
cheap
ain't
punks.
Pit, it ain't powerful, says Nick
Yeah, that's
Scarpino.
true. I get that. But so when Fire Emblem did eventually come out on the GBA and on, I don't even know when this was. It must have been 2002 or 3. Like, people cared because of Smash. They wouldn't have cared otherwise. And I'm talking about generally. Like,
Sure.
There's some people that
There's
would.
the hardcore.
Yeah. But then over time, like, I think it just became more and more of a thing. And now Fire Emblem is a small thing in America. And I think Smash Bros. Has a lot to thank for that. So this is an awesome send-off, I think. And him ending this direct with another Fire Emblem character might seem like a slap in the face to a lot of people. But it's like, this character didn't take the place of another character. It's just in addition to, as far as I'm...
Ice climbers.
No, but it was
Colin's not here. Someone's got to say it.
No. I get it.
Snake.
But like, those
Goku
characters didn't make it. It's not that like they would have made it if Corrin, the new Fire Emblem character, wasn't there.
Sure.
So that was the first announcement, was that there's another Fire Emblem character called Corrin from Fire Emblem Fates that's not out in America yet. It's been out in Japan for a bit. And I'm excited. It's another sword character, but it looks like it plays a little bit differently.
Yeah. Is it a he or she?
It's a he and a she. So it's
You see my confusion with these things, Greg?
Yeah.
It's so hard
I
for me to wrap
understand.
my head around
I
this.
understand.
it's like an avatar character, so you get to choose and you
cool.
decide if it's a boy or girl in the beginning of the game. It's
Yeah.
like Robin in Smash.
She looks, I'm just going to use the pronoun she. It looks that like a very interesting character. I actually would like to play as her, just because I liked the idea, or I like how they're handling the sword in this one, where like the tip, if you land it just right, it's way more powerful, and then if it's like as it goes down. I'm trying not to sound as phallic as humanly possible here, but it's just coming out because it's me. So it looks cool. I haven't. Have you played with it yet?
No one.
It's not out yet.
It's so we're looking at February.
Oh, that's
for
right.
her.
Cloud just came out, right?
Cloud came out a couple nights ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's one.
So, but yeah, she's
hear
cool.
your
Or he,
impressions on him.
either way, has like these dragon properties, so that like every move, a different part of its body turns into a dragon. And like that's obviously based on whatever the character is in Fire Emblem Fates. My contact is destroying me right now. So if I keep playing with my,
You want to take a break and fix it?
No.
You're gonna power through it like
yeah,
Sugar
I'm
Ray
powering
Leonard. I love it.
You want Kevin to just spit in your eye?
That's the last thing.
Please come
I
spit in
would
his
like.
eye.
So I'm excited by this, but it's not something that I'm like, fuck yeah about. It's just like, all right, cool. I'm happy there's more characters. More characters is
Do you
good.
like? I mean, are they diverse enough in terms of the moveset?
Yes,
right
and
there?
that's my
the
thing.
big
This
right?
is a totally unique moveset. It's unlike anyone else. And I can look at it and be like, oh, this move's kind of like this move from this person. This one's kind of like that. But this isn't just another Marth clone.
Sure.
Which is the worry with the Fire Emblem characters.
Sure.
Because at this point we have Marth, Lucina, and Roy, who all play pretty similarly. Roy's a little heavier, but it's ridiculous how close Lucina and Marth are. So then the next thing was they really kind of went deeper into Cloud, and they talked about him for a long time and really talked about his moves and all that stuff and how to use him. And then they were like, it's available later today. And it's like, Nintendo? The fuck? Like, that's such a ball drop to me, where it's like, have it available right now. Why are you doing, like, why say in a couple hours? And like,
Because that's how long it gets the servers to go, bruh.
But I know, but
It would have leaked. It would have ruined it beforehand. All these kids on Twitter would have found it beforehand.
Who cares? Like,
The announcement.
I don't know. I'm talking about like just they announced Cloud already. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It's not like it was.
It's not like this is the news.
Here's a new thing. You can get it now. It's like you've known about this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I hear you.
2 weeks or 3 weeks.
so
right?
I thought that was a weird, like, business wise. Like, I'm like, that's a dropped ball. Like, you could have had so many people right then buying it. Instead,
it's not like they called it Audible either, right? That's pre-recorded, so they planned for it to say,
well,
like,
I mean,
give it a few
even
hours.
earlier in the thing, he's like, it's coming soon, and then he's like,
That was
in
the
a couple
tease.
hours. It's like, well,
You
and
got
less
it.
of an impact than
You
soon
got it.
now.
You're at work anyway. What do you care?
But so my thing with that though is that they're even like, yeah, like the servers are gonna be slammed. So if you have any issues, like whatever. So it's like maybe like they were like at least trying to just, they knew that a lot of people were gonna be downloading cloud, so they were trying to like get less people to buy it, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, I then downloaded cloud that night.
Sure, I want to know this. Yeah.
I've been playing with him.
Really?
Love Cloud. Yeah. Seems a little overpowered right now.
Okay.
I have a feeling you're going to patch it a bit to kind of tone it down. Like his right B is pretty dominating in terms of just like it puts it's cross slash for Final Fantasy 7 fans. It puts out the beginning of cross slash, and there's just like orange mark that comes out, and the distance is pretty far, and it creates spacing with you and the other characters, and they just can't get near you, or else they get hit.
Gotcha.
And it's like if it either kept them away or hit them, but not both. I think it would be okay, but it's kind of a little bit unfair. But again, this is based on 10 rounds playing as him against someone that's significantly better than me. So
Kern's better than you?
Oh, Kern's way better than
Kern
me.
is
He's good.
on a different
He's
level.
damn good.
But he's a civilian.
He is a civilian.
He is. You wouldn't know it though.
Anyways, so Cloud's really cool.
annoying.
I like Cloud, and you know they did a good job with him, man. Like it's Final Fantasy through and through. His taunts are right. His moves look right. His alternate costumes, whether it's Advent Children or normal Cloud, I'm really like happy with how they handled his character. His victory music is the Final Fantasy victory theme. Like it's all these dumb little things. I'm like, this is Smash Bros.
That's what you wanted. Yeah.
They nailed it.
Yeah.
So Cloud, awesome. Then we get all the extra little announcements.
Tails!
Things,
Costumes.
the Mii costumes and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So we got Tails, we got Knuckles, and you know, we've seen before we got the like Tekken characters. So there's no Tekken representation in Smash Bros. Like character-wise.
Proper.
But,
Yeah.
but there is in these like Mii costume stuff. And they've been pushing all that since the game came out, where there's hats and all that stuff. I don't really care. Like the Mii characters aren't people that I use. But it's cool, and it's cool that at least they're thinking. At least they're like, all right, we're not going to put Tails and Knuckles in this game, but let's kind of do it.
Sure.
And then they announced Geno from Super Mario RPG that you can kind of wear his hat. And that's a really big deal because Geno's one of those characters that, you know, I've been following Smash Bros. For a long time.
Sure.
And back when Brawl was coming out, I was on all the forums, and there's so many threads of like, hey, who do you want to see? And Geno was always
Really?
one. It's yes, like Geno. Because he has a moveset that would be unique and pretty cool. And
Yeah.
also he's like a cult classic character. And he's Nintendo, like it's Square. This is before Cloud was a possibility. in Smash Bros. So it's like, you know, it represents the Square RPG, but it's still Nintendo.
Gotcha.
But then there was always like a rights issue of like, does Square own him? Does Nintendo own him? And it's cool to see at least
Something.
This is an obvious nod to those people. Like Sakurai pays attention. He knows what's up, and he knows that they wanted Geno. So he did that, and that's cool. There's a whole bunch more stuff like that. And then they had the final character reveal. And they had a buildup of just like, hey, this is it. Like this, we've announced all these different characters. We have one more to show you. A couple months ago, they did the Smash ballot where people could vote.
Which sounded like a terrible idea. Just vote for whoever you want or whatever. And
I mean, it was vote for.
Was it like a fill in the name thing?
Yeah.
And they're like, this won't go wrong. This won't
Yeah.
get people totally psyched about one thing and then not give it to them.
So it was like vote for whatever you want, and like there was like a couple asterisks and stuff, and in interviews, most of them Japanese. So there's a lot of translation things that like, you know,
Sure.
it gets a little
Lost
messy
in
in a lot of
translation,
places. But some of there's not really rules, but like try to make them like they should be from a video game, at least.
It's just
at
like
all.
President Obama.
But they said it doesn't need to be a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Like they did say like a couple things that were like that gave hope to stuff.
I feel like they gave too much, though. That was
No.
the whole thing. I'm sorry, because I'm jumping to the end. Keep going.
Yeah. So people were doing all this stuff. Now, what's my first reaction when I saw this ballot thing? It's like, all right, whatever. Nintendo's rigging this.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way like that they're gonna put this much power. And also, it's like it's not like they can just get whoever the fuck they want.
Exactly. It's
you
not
know?
like it's that easy where everyone puts Crash Bandicoot and they go to Activision. Activision's like, yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, put them in. So I knew that going in, but I've been paying pretty close attention to what people were talking about for the ballots and stuff, and seeing like online polls of all this stuff. And when they announced Cloud, everyone's first reaction is, "Oh my God, they did it!"
Yeah,
like Nintendo fucking didn't fuck around. Cloud won, and they gave it to us, and that was very impressive. Then they made it really clear. They
immediately were like, no,
Cloud's not the ballot person. That's still coming. We just got Cloud, and Cloud was really hard to get. Like, that's what they said.
Yeah. So
it's like, all right, cool. So then they announced the winner, and it's Bayonetta. And
who had a good reveal.
Yeah.
I thought. And granted, you know, you're the Smash guy. I play Smash with you and enjoy it or whatever. But I thought I liked the whole trailer they did. Whereas when Pit came out, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then you hear the voice of like, I thought another angel. I was like, oh shit, Bayonetta.
Yeah, see, the problem that I had with the DLC characters is back when Smash, before the game came out, like whenever a new character for the first time was coming, to be a proper CG trailer, like it was like edited to do all that stuff. Sure. And now for the DLC characters, they kind of just do this like in-game like weird voiceover thing. Mm-hmm. So it was cool, but I mean,
for you, it didn't hit what you want.
It could have been a lot cooler.
For Portillo and I, we were enjoying it.
Yeah, and I want to say I'm happy with Bayonetta. She looks like a unique character, and she's definitely going to be fun, and like I'm happy she's in it. My only thing is, it's like, why end on Bayonetta? Like, that is so, like, oh, she won the ballot?
That goes back to the pacing issue that you have with these, right? Which is, it's the same issue that you have with it's going to be available in a few hours. It's there's just whoever's programming these, and I have to imagine they're not very easy to do, right? Because you've got a lot of pressure on you, but whoever's programming them does not have a Western, like a diehard Western sensibility. They really just don't, right? There's really a different sense of pomp and circumstance than there is with what we expect here. And you can contrast those with whatever you see at E3 press conferences, where they clearly, like, whatever the biggest thing you know is going to come last, if it's Sony or if it's Microsoft, especially Microsoft.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's pretty fascinating, because you were mentioning as well, you were like, Cloud is a much bigger story. And so, granted, they put that on the actual Nintendo Direct proper, which I guess in terms of, you know, which one's bigger, I guess the Directs are bigger than the actual Smash Bros. Directs.
It doesn't matter.
I would have inversed it, right? To your point. Yeah. Like, I would have done at the Direct, your fan ballot choice is Bayonetta. And everybody like, oh, cool, I didn't expect that. And then we have one more Direct coming and one more character, one more character. And then ended with Cloud,
I mean, for me, I would have just put all of them in this. Like, it's a Smash Direct. Like, have started off with the final character, then hey, here's your ballot winner, and then hey, here's
the one you wanted,
Cloud, and like that would have been an amazing Direct. Now here's the thing: who cares? We're talking at this point about conferences. All these characters are in the game,
sure. Right.
So whatever. I'm just talking about in terms of the hype, because the hype specifically about Smash Bros. Is so important to me. Now, having said that, Cloud coming out of nowhere in the Direct, like when like the Smash thing just happens, and you're like, oh shit, that's amazing, you know. And that was a moment that I'll always have. Yeah. But it would have made this so much more special to have that Cloud reveal at the end. And it's like, this is the end. The final character is Cloud. Like,
I agree 100%. Yeah.
But again, it's like, I get why they did this, because they knew that Cloud was going to take all the
thunder.
The thunder. Yeah. Like, no matter what.
No, but that's not true, because if they had announced Bayonetta on 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when that Direct happened, that would have been pretty special. That would have been cool, and it would have been a nice, like, hey, we had this awesome campaign where you guys voted, and this was the best we could do with the characters.
Well, that's the thing. Now I want to get back to the ballots we're talking about, is that people's expectations were getting on, and everybody's talking Goku, right? That was the big thing.
Well, so here's the thing: like, there was a. It's not that people were disappointed with Bayonetta. Like,
a lot of people were really stoked about it. I saw a lot of people say I voted for her.
So in terms of the people that I saw thrown around the most, Bayonetta actually, I mean, they gave the stats, and like, if you believe them, they said that Bayonetta was 5th in the UK. Oh no, 5th in America, 1st in UK, and 1st worldwide overall of characters that they could actually
get or whatever.
And so it's like those, like the fact that they admitted it was 5th in the US, I'm like, all right, maybe that's real. Like, maybe that is, because a lot of people were saying Bayonetta because they were voting for someone that they believed could actually make it that they wanted. So people did want Bayonetta, and Bayonetta at this point does have a lineage with the Wii U. So. Because the Bayonetta 2 was exclusive on Wii U.
Exactly. She has good faith with them. She has good cachet with them.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm not hating on Bayonetta at all. It's just people were getting a little crazy with the Gokus and and Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that. And it's like, all right, those aren't going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not. Well,
but never say
Goku,
never.
Goku specifically.
Goku's a little harder to get in my brain. I mean, I guess I don't really know too much about it, but Goku seems a lot harder to get than Crash Bandicoot.
I'd imagine Goku's an easier get,
You think
but it
so?
just doesn't make sense because he's not from a game.
He's been in games.
He's
I
had
know,
games,
I know.
but like, he's from an anime.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I think that's the thing. But like getting Goku, I don't think would have been an issue at all.
You don't think
Like,
so?
yeah, they just fucking whore that shit out. Like, you
That's
know what
true.
I mean? Like, that's just.
They're smart about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to put us in this incredibly popular game with like the Venn diagrams right on top of our kind of people.
I don't think that would have been too big of an issue. But people are voting for a lot of dumb stuff, but that splits the vote. So the dedicated people that are voting for Bayonetta because she actually has a chance, like that makes sense. And it's like, all right, like Bayonetta's definitely was in the top 10 of names that constantly came up. King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country came up a lot, but like I don't think would have had enough of a thing.
Sure.
Ridley from Metroid comes up a lot, and that's another character like Gino that's been asked for decades at this point for Super Smash Brothers. So yeah, Bayonetta winning isn't surprising. It's just when this whole direct ended, I tweeted out, I was like, I feel like a spoiled brat for being disappointed with this.
Sure.
And that's the total thing is I'm so thankful for all of this. I'm so happy that we have 3 more characters. Like I remember back even 3 years ago when we were talking about Super Smash Brothers, and there was an interview that came out. They're like, yeah, we're going to have to cut a lot of characters because we're going to focus in, the roster might be around 18. And I was like, holy shit. Like that sucks, man.
Yeah.
And now we're at 58. We're at like way more. Like Brawl had 35, 39 if you count the like Ivysaur, Squirtle, whatever shit.
Well, that was the thing is like on Reddit last night or this morning, depending on when I looked at it, they had there was a screenshot up on our gaming that was like, can we for a second take a moment to look at this screenshot and think about the fact that 5 years ago, no one would have ever thought this was possible. We would have thought this was made up. And it was the Smash Brothers select screen with all these characters on it. Yeah.
I mean, I when I was playing with Cloud, I set up an 8-player match and I posted a picture of Mario, Pac-Man, Sonic, Mega Man, Ryu, Cloud, Pikachu, and Link. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, all these characters are perfectly represented in this fighting game. That's insane, you know?
Yeah. I'm with and this is again like I feel like some of the reactions you're having mirror what we saw at PSX, right? With people being let down by what was a solid showing, but not like gangbusters. Here's this giant announcement, ending, everything's amazing. And I think it just for me as a casual observer who's like, okay, cool, more characters, great, Smash is still going. I think what I'm seeing from your side of the fence is as like super fan guy is the fact that it didn't feel like the final thing. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to leave, you want to leave with one giant thing and a bow kind of thing. Whereas this felt like it was more like, here's some cool shit. It felt like every other Smash Direct I've seen.
Yep.
I have to think it's hard though, right? You have to think, especially when you're dealing with rights clearance issues, that maybe you never know what's happening behind the scenes. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe their intention a while back was to have Cloud be on this one, and that one went through first. Then Bayonetta took a little while longer. You know, you never know.
Yeah,
like this is not exactly like it's not like our job here where we're like, let's go do something, okay, and we go do it. There's lots of red tape to cut through when you're dealing with licenses. So
I guess never know. So really though, where my disappointment stems from is not in Bayonetta. It's in the fact that I knew Bayonetta could happen, and I thought Bayonetta would. Bayonetta and Shovel Knight were the two that I was like, all right, like,
Shovel Knight
sure,
cool.
they could definitely happen. It's more from Cloud was announced, and despite how much I would have rathered him been the final thing just because of what that would represent, they announced him, which to me represented anything is possible.
Yes.
So that was like, all right. They announced Cloud, and then they announced there's a direct that's gonna talk about the ballot winner. What's that say? And to me that says Crash is possible. Like and
I know.
Represent like Crash
literally
or,
anything crazy could
like,
happen.
Anything crazy.
Peter
could
Venkman
happen.
from Ghostbusters the video game.
Yes. And then it didn't. And that's kind of
they took the wind out of its sails, right? Like that's the problem. Is it like it's like if your birthday is 10 days before Christmas and someone gets you a really awesome birthday present and like, what the fuck am I gonna get for Christmas now?
Yeah.
Kind of puts a damper on Christmas.
Yeah.
I can't possibly get that Maserati for Christmas because I got it for my birthday.
Oh,
thanks, Greg.
No problem. I'm buying a Miata.
Not the same car. Not the same car.
I'm getting you a Miata.
I don't want a Miata.
Yeah, and again, at the end of the day, we get all of it in one game, so it really doesn't matter how it was all announced and stuff. But The other thing, though,
What do you think this means when I point at the window? Open the window, potato.
He's playing his PS Vita. Let him do
No, I took a photo of him, and I'm going to tweet it because I've never been more proud of him. He's over there in his Superman shirt playing the Vita. I love this kid.
it. He looks like Bizarro you.
I'm ordering 3 Bizarro shirts, just so you know.
That'll be a good photo to take together.
But yeah, and this is where the super fan comes in and like kind of like ruins everything. But it's like, to me, the saddest thing was what was disappointing, what was not in this direct. And what was not in this direct is Ice Climbers and Snake and Wolf.
Snake, you knew wasn't going to happen, though.
No, but I mean, Snake at this point, like, before I would have credited Kojima with getting Snake in Smash.
Sure.
But now it's like, yeah, it's Konami and fuck Konami and all that shit. But like, I mean, he was already in the last game, and it's just like a lot. If they announced Snake, that would have been a bigger reveal in this.
Oh,
direct.
sure, yeah, 100%. But it's impossible. Konami just is done. Konami is done. All these people who say fuck us, we're gonna give them our fuck off. Get out of here. Pachinko,
right, I mean,
you want one of our characters? Put a pachinko machine in. Just it's the new punching bag.
I'm coming from the other side of that. Of just like, all right, hey, this is an easy win of good faith. Of just like, I can just license you this shit, and like you guys do everything else. Cool.
Yeah.
But anyways,
then you'd have a big argument of whose voice do you put in it.
What I'm saying is that all of those characters, this is just confirmation that they're not coming back. And there was always hope. There was always hope that like they're gonna make their reappearance. My boy Squirtle, R.I.P. Like, I'm never getting you again.
Never.
And these are things where I did think, I would have never thought back when they were talking about 18 characters. But once we started getting to upper 50s, I'm like, are they going to end this as this having every Smash Bros. Character?
Yeah.
Except for maybe Pichu and Young Link? Like, that's crazy. That like they're going to do it. They're fucking doing it. They brought back Roy and Mewtwo. Like, I was like, this is insane. I never thought they would do that. But yeah, now Ice Climbers, it's like they're gone. That's crazy that they're actually gone. I didn't believe it. I thought they'd come back. And they didn't announce Wolf. There's a Star Fox game coming out. What? That's just too easy of an inclusion. So I don't know. That like it was those things that it just made me realize, damn, this is over. Like, we're not getting another direct.
It's not over.
You
You just have to wait. Yeah, you just have to wait like
10
8 more years.
Yeah. Which I am so excited to get right back into the hype cycle for it. Like, it's so fucking
I mean,
awesome.
that's the thing that it's the double-edged sword about this game, right? Is that, you know, I'm not nearly as huge of a fan of it as you, but I do enjoy playing the game. And I enjoy playing the game for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that it is as good as it can possibly get.
Mm-hmm.
It is the Apple of fighting games. You know what I mean? Where like they scrutinize every aspect of it and they make sure everything is as perfect as it possibly can get, which really, really lends itself well to a fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with some of the other games. What was the PlayStation game?
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
All-Stars, which, you know, you play and it was fun, but it just doesn't have the same feeling, the same polish on it, right? So I'm willing to wait that 8 years. And you know, we waited like 94 years for Star Wars. And we're going to see that tonight.
So that's exciting.
So it is exciting, you know. So, but I'm with you on that one. Like, when you start getting hyped, and like, and it is a little sad when they announced that roster. You were like, okay, the plan clearly is that they're going to give us all the other characters that we had in Brawl, and not getting that. I can see how you're a little let down. Even though you never played as Ice Climbers.
No, but and that's
you don't
the
really
thing.
give a shit. I never played as Wolf.
But that's the thing. It's not that I'm let down.
Right.
It's just like it's just sad knowing that we're not getting. I'm not let down at all. Like, I am the opposite of let down.
Sure.
I cannot believe, like, when they announced Mewtwo as the first DLC character, I wasn't sure we were getting much after that. We ended up getting like 8 or 7 DLC characters, something like that. That's when all said and done.
Right.
That's fucking insane. Well, one of them's Ryu and one of them's Cloud.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those happened after the game launched. What? Like, that's
but it's
totally
bitter.
insane.
But I can see how it could be bittersweet for you, right? Because you know that no matter what, now we go into the dark period. Now we go into the period where we get to
play.
Well,
that's the funny thing is, like,
Sure.
to your point of like, you feel like you're being spoiled, right? Is the fact that it's done now, right? But it used to be done when the game came out.
Yeah.
The game used to come out, and that was fucking it for Smash for 5 years, 6 years.
More than 5 years.
Yeah,
And that's absolutely right. It's like, so now we have this, and Sakurai ending the video with like the thank you to the fans and all that stuff. It's like
Classy move.
very classy, and like I felt that I appreciate him so much. You know, I remember when I met him at E3. The first year I went to E3, before I even worked at IGN, and I saw him and I asked to take a picture with him, and he was Japanese as fuck, and he did not know what I was trying to do.
Oh.
And like, no one had asked him ever to take a picture with him.
Oh,
before.
really?
Yeah.
Did you take it?
Oh yeah, I got the
Okay.
picture. I have a picture with him, and it's fucking awesome.
Did you explain it slowly? Like, I mean, it was Japanese as fuck. You said so. Like, you're trying.
Yeah.
Hey, can I take a photo? And he's just like,
Yep, that's exactly
Okay.
what happened.
and
then
you're like, picture.
yeah, and I was
Gotcha.
like, I started doing stuff, and he was just like, he looked confused. I'm like, really? Like,
You're like,
do you know? Who I am?
como se dice selfie in Japanese?
Como se dice?
Como se dice
Spanish is the universal language.
selfie? Swelfie?
Swelfie. Sakurai.
Ano,
Okay, stop.
selfie? Ano.
Selfies weren't huge back then yet.
No, they
So
weren't.
you couldn't.
No,
they didn't have
no,
a name. You
definitely
didn't have
not.
anything. He probably
All
had a
right.
digital camera with him.
I love you, Smash Bros. I love you very dearly.
R.I.P.
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace,
Smash Bros.
No, R.I.P.
Squirtle,
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Squirtle.
Squirtle
R.I.P. Snake.
and Pichu, my boy.
ice climbers.
Nice climbers. Pouring out for your boy Colin M. All right.